Stephen Curry is changing the way we think, coach, and play the game. And I firmly believe we are watching a revolution unfold. Steph is a freak, and we may never see someone like this again. But what if you could clone a young Steph Curry? A player that with the right work and situation might very well be the next big star in the NBA. What would that player look like? Well, let me formally introduce you to Mavs guard, John Jenkins. Now, there are a bunch of different reasons why I think John Jenkins could possibly be the next Stephen Curry. So today I wanted to break down 3 aspects of their game that I really think that they're going to have the same developmental path. Think of Stephen Curry 3 or 4 years ago. Now, just like early in Steph's career, John's had a few injuries that have set him back a little bit, but I think he's back on pace and ready to take the league by storm. So as you watch this video, think about your own game and see if you can move along this same developmental path to be the best player that you can be. And remember, if you can develop these 3 areas of your game, you're going to be really, really hard to stop. Alright, so let's start with 3-point shooting. We all know Stephen Curry is an absolute sniper from the outside, and I see a lot of that in John Jenkins as well. Now, John really hasn't been seeing consistent minutes because he's behind a veteran-led backcourt in Dallas. But this year in the preseason, we actually got to see what he could do, and he didn't disappoint, averaging about 24 points per game. Now, the thing that I like most about John's jumper is his ability to hit shots in difficult situations. Just like Curry kind of had that knack, it doesn't matter if a defender's hand's in his face, if he's stepping away, he's gonna knock that shot down. Now, he definitely doesn't shoot it as much or as often as Curry, but I definitely see him kind of developing that separation shooting and being a really unstoppable scorer in the near future. And in a league where to be competitive, you've got to kind of go to that small ball, pace and space offense, John seems like the perfect fit at either the point guard or the shooting guard position for any team out there. Now, his form really doesn't look a ton like Steph's form, but if you watch the shots that he hits, they feel very Curry-esque. Now, he hits a lot of his 3-point shots off of things like pullbacks, step backs, fadeaways, basically shots to get separation, and that's a great indicator that he's going to be a star because he can get those looks off in games. Alright, now let's compare the second part of their game that I like, and that's the mid-range shooting. Now, just like Stephen Curry, John is really good at beating his first defender and then pulling up at the mid-range before he gets to the help side defenders. The mid-range game is a lost art in basketball, so if a scorer can add that to their arsenal, it makes them that much harder to stop. And since John already has a very developed mid-range game, I think he's kind of positioning himself perfectly to take that next big developmental leap. And this is one of the things that really makes both of these guys really hard to guard, is because no matter how the defense plays them, they're going to have an answer. And if you don't have a mid-range game, you're not going to have an answer all the time. Now, another little clue that we picked up that a lot of NBA stars have is the ability to hit this mid-range shot off of the dribble and off of the catch. Most guys are just good at one or the other, but if you can have both of them in your arsenal, it makes you that much more dynamic with the basketball. So long story short, I really like John's mid-range game, and I think it's one of the keys that's going to help develop him into a star in the NBA. And when you're training your own game, make sure you work on that mid-range because you won't be a complete player or a complete scorer without it. And next, let's talk about finishing in the paint. Now, this is something that's really set Steph Curry apart from a lot of other players just in the last year or two. And that, along with his ball handling, is really the reason why he's the player that he is today and so dominant. And this is a huge reason why I think John has a chance to be special, because he has that same knack at getting to the paint and finishing even though there's taller players in front of him. Now, just like Curry, John is really good at finishing once he gets into the paint with a variety of scoring options like runners, floaters, offhand finishes, and up and unders. This is a really important aspect to have as a scorer because the closer you get to the rim, the higher your shooting percentage is going to be. And because John has a variety of finishes in his bag of tricks, no matter what the defense throws at him or how they play him, he's going to be able to finish with that high percentage look. So this is one of the really important aspects in being a high volume scorer in the NBA, because if you can score inside of the paint, it forces the defense to respect you, thus opening up your 3-point shot and your mid-range. So just like Steph does, I think John has an opportunity to make a mismatch with the defense at all 3 levels of the court, inside the paint, at the mid-range, and deep from 3. If you really examine the guys in the NBA, it's a league of a lot of specialists, so there's not very many guys can do all 3 of these things at once. And John Jenkins, just like a young Stephen Curry, has all 3 of the components to be able to take that jump to the next level. So just like them, you want to train your game to be unstoppable at all 3 levels as well. So as a little thanks for watching, you can click the button in the upper right hand corner or the link in the description to get a free copy of my #1 scoring workout. It will train you to score just like these guys. And if you're new to shot mechanics, you're going to want to do a few things. Number 1, hit that subscription button. That way you get all our videos as soon as they come out. After that, hit that like button down below and then leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what sort of video you want to see next. This is a channel for the people, by the people, and I run pretty much everything off of requests. I'm Coach Colin Castello with Shot Mechanics Basketball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, splash on.